these were the factors that really led to, the things that we're trying to do from an initiative standpoint with PBL and our district. So cross-content proficiency gaps. I'd be lying if I told you that our data was immaculate and amazing. It's not. We know that we have areas for growth. We have seen an uptick in our proficiency in the last couple of years for sure. We know what happened, with COVID and all really kind of threw us back a little bit, but we're starting to really kind of turn the corner and make some really good gains. But aside from that, regardless of what we went through when we had the shutdowns and we were in remote learning, we already had issues with students who struggled in math, who struggled in science, who struggled in reading. And so what we've came to understand and realize really early on is how big of a role PBM, STEM-based opportunities, computer science applications and opportunities and instruction through that has something that really helps them to engage and learn things so that it helps them across all content areas. So that was a big part of why we are doing what we've began a couple of years ago. Collaborative inquiry. I think all of us, if I were to ask you to give a thumbs up in the chat on this, I think we would see a lot of thumbs up. But we know that our students live in a very distracted world. We know that now more so than ever that there's a lack of language that we tend to see inside of classrooms, a lack of opportunities for students to talk and share. And so going back to this idea about our students, especially the ones who are most vulnerable, they need opportunities to be able to do that because that only enhances and accelerates their learning. And through PBL, right, it's a natural piece that by teaching in that manner, what do? Well, we create opportunities for students to come together, to work in partnerships, to work in groups, to present, to talk, to share, to create, to problem solve, to revise, right? And so that's one of the huge, parts of this is that when I go in and see students actually engaged in these types of instructional opportunities, there's just a natural buzz around the room, as there should be. And so that's something, it's almost kind of like a two-tier effect to where students get a chance to do that, teachers get a chance to engage them in that way. And so guess what happens in the other content areas that the teachers teach? Well, they provide more opportunities for students to collaborate, which is what we want. Because as I said a minute ago, it's a very distracted world and a very isolated world for some of our students that really sometimes don't have anyone to talk to, or they really talk just through their devices. So digital competency expectations is another one. This kind of goes back to, what Brandy had mentioned is that we have, new digital literacy and computer science standards that Alabama is expected to implement. We actually had those kind of land last year. Truth be told, we were probably supposed to be working to implement them in a pilot year the year before that. But as with many things, we sometimes kind of are slow to start because of some of the resources and also just timeliness of trying to be able to kind of get things up off the ground. But we knew then that we have students who are going to be expected to do things, from a computer-based standpoint that was going to be a challenge for them. It was going to be rigorous. And so when you look at those standards, there's some high expectations in there. And many teachers or many STEM teachers as well might look at that and go, well, I'm really just not sure my students can do this. Well, guess what? They can. They can through good, solid, direct instruction and having the opportunities and the reps to be able to do it and do it well with the aid and support of peers and with the aid and support of their teacher. So that's something that we knew was a big piece that we had to try to tackle with this. And then lastly, the college and career preparedness. We have a ton of students in Marshall County that go on to a lot of the jobs in our local area, which are very career-oriented jobs. And we have students that leave our career tech center and move on to jobs straight out of high school, straight out after graduating with certificates that go and make a lot of money. And they do it because of the opportunities they've had to be in problem-based learning situations within the career tech. And so when I was talking to our superintendent, when we really started to kind of get this up off the ground, I was like, how amazing and how valuable is this going to be that we begin this with kindergarten students, that we begin being able to kind of unlock the world for them and to be able to kind of show them how things work. Going back to George's example of going back to realizing, hey, it's not a hidden thing. It's not just learn it to learn it, but learn it because you want to do something with it and understand the whole inner workings behind it. And so the college and career preparedness is a valuable piece and will continue to be a valuable piece moving forward. We're excited about that. I know our career tech individuals who are over there know what we're doing down in the lower grades, and they're like, we can't wait to have those students move up to our school one day, so that they're just going to be so much more advanced, so much more proficient with the things that they're going to be asked to do over there. So excited to see that happen.